Today we're going to read The Weirdstone of Brisingamen by Alan Garner. Yes, there is a map. The Legend of Alderley. At dawn, one still October day in the long ago of the world, across the hill of Alderley, a farmer from Moberly was riding to Macclesfield Fair. The morning was dull but mild. Light mists bedimmed his way. The woods were hushed. The day promised fine. The farmer was in good spirits, and he let his horse, a milk-white mare, set her own pace, for he wanted her to arrive fresh to the market. A rich man would walk back to Moberly that night. So, his mind in the town while he was yet on the hill, the farmer drew near to the place known as Thieves' Hole. And there the horse stood still, and would answer to neither spur nor rein. The spur and rein she understood, and her master's stern command, but the eyes that held her were stronger than all of these. In the middle of the path, where surely there had been no one, was an old man, tall, with long hair and beard. "You go to sell this mare," he said. "I come here to buy. What is your price?" But the farmer wished to sell only at the market, where he would have a choice of many offers. So he rudely bade the stranger quit the path and let him through, for if he stayed longer he would be late to the fair. "Then go your way," said the old man. "None will buy, and I shall await you here at sunset." The next moment he was gone, and the farmer could not tell how or where. The day was warm and the tavern cool, and all who saw the mare agreed that she was a splendid animal, the pride of Cheshire, a queen among horses. And everyone said there was no finer beast in the town, but no one offered to buy. A sour-eyed farmer rode out to Macclesfield at the end of the day. At Thieves' Hole, the mare stopped. The stranger was there. Thinking any price was now better than none, the farmer agreed to sell. "How much will you give?" he said. "Enough. Now come with me." By 7 Firs and Goldenstone they went, to Stormy Point and Saddlebow, and they halted before a great rock embedded in the hillside. The old man lifted his staff and lightly touched the rock, and it split with the noise of thunder. At this the farmer toppled from his plunging horse, and on his knees begged the other to have mercy on him and let him go his way unharmed. The horse should stay, he did not want her, only spare his life, that was enough. The wizard, for such he was, commanded the farmer to rise. "I promise you safe conduct," he said. "Do not be afraid, for living wonders you shall see here." Beyond the rock stood a pair of iron gates. These the wizard opened, and took the farmer and his horse down a narrow tunnel deep into the hill. A light, subdued but beautiful, marked their way. The passage ended, and they stepped into a cave, and there a wondrous sight met the farmer's eyes. 140 knights in silver armor, and by the side of all but one, a milk-white mare. "Here they lie in enchanted sleep," said the wizard, "until the day will come, and it will come, when England shall be in direst peril, and England's mothers weep. Then out from the hill these must ride, and in a battle thrice lost, thrice won, upon the plain, drive the enemy into the sea." The farmer, dumb with awe, turned with the wizard into a further cavern, and here mounds of gold and silver and precious stones lay strewn upon the ground. "Take what you can carry in payment for the horse." And when the farmer had crammed his pockets, ample as his lands, his shirt and his fists with jewels, the wizard hurried him up the long tunnel and thrust him out of the gates. The farmer stumbled. The thunder rolled. He looked, and there was only the rock above him. He was alone on the hill near Stormy Point. The broad full moon was up, and it was night. And although in years later he tried to find the place, neither he nor any after him ever saw the iron gates again. Nell Beck swore she saw them once, but she was said to be mad. And when she died, they buried her under a hollow bank near Brindlewood, in the field that bears her name to this day. Part 1. Chapter 1. Highmost Redmany. The guard knocked on the door of the compartment as he went past. "Wilmslow, 15-minute." "Thank you," shouted Colin. Susan began to clear away the debris of the journey. Apple cores, orange peel, food wrappings, magazines, while Colin pulled down their luggage from the rack. And within 3 minutes, they were both poised on the edge of their seats, case in hand and mackintosh over one arm, caught, like every traveler before or since, in that limbo of journey's end, when there's nothing to do and no time to relax. Those last miles were the longest of all. The platform of Wilmslow Station was thick with people, and more spilled off the train. But Colin and Susan had no difficulty in recognizing Gowther Mossick among those waiting. As the tide of passengers broke round him and surged through the gates, leaving the children lonely at the far end of the platform, he waved his hand and came striding towards them. He was an oak of a man, not very tall, but solid as a crag, and barreled with flesh, bone, and muscle. His face was round and polished, blue eyes crinkled to the humor of his mouth. A tweed jacket strained across his back, and his legs, curved like the timbers of an old house, were clad in breeches, which tucked into thick woolen stockings just above the swelling calves. A felt hat, old and formless, was on his head, and hobnailed boots struck sparks from the platform as he walked. "Hello! I'm thinking you must be Colin and Susan." His voice was gusty and high-pitched, yet mellow, like an autumn gale. "That's right," said Colin. "And are you Mr. Mossick?" "I am. But we'll have none of your Mr. Mossick, if you please. Gowther's my name. Now come along, let's be having you. Bess is getting us some supper, and we're not home yet." He picked up their cases, and they made their way down the steps to the station yard, where there stood a green farm cart with high red wheels, and between the shafts was a white horse with shaggy mane and fetlock. "Hey up, scamp," said Gowther as he heaved the cases into the back of the cart. A brindled lurcher, which had been asleep on a rug, stood and eyed the children wearily while they clambered to the seat. Gowther took his place between them, and away they drove under the station bridge on the last stage of their travels. This is from The Weirdstone of Brisingamen by Alan Garner. And if you want to know what happens next, I highly encourage you to read the book yourself.